Hey everyone, it's Michael. I hope you're doing well today. I have a review here for a childhood game that I loved to death, but it completely designed some kind of trauma within me. Because it not only is a fighting game that you had to beat people up, it beat me up emotionally. This game came out on PS1 in the year 2000, and it came out around the time of the first live action movie adaptation of these characters, X-Men Mutant Academy, and again, it's for PS1. This is a fighting game, just like Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter, and you have to understand, when I was playing this game, I think this was my first actual fighting game, aside from, I think there was one it's a giant robot fighting game called Rock'em Sock'em Robots, and then I had a Gundam game that was kind of like a fighting game too, like that. And I wasn't bad at those. This, I was good at until I would get to the third level of what I guess you could call as not really a story mode per se, but really just like, they just keep pairing you up with different characters to fight in the game. X-Men Mutant Academy, I tried every character when I was a kid. I didn't know when I was a kid that if a game didn't tell you up front, you could select the difficulty, easy, medium, or hard, or easy, normal, or hard. I didn't know that you could go to the options in the middle of the gameplay and maybe select a different one, or maybe go to the options on the main menu. I never knew any of that. I never knew that you could adjust screen size and stuff unless a game told you to when I got into my teen years. And I think PS2, they really started doing that. But anyway, there was essentially only like 3 fights that I would ever get to in this game. And the third one was the one that I never could beat. I didn't realize the game was preset on medium or normal difficulty, which was way too hard for me when I was a kid. I haven't played this in like 22 years at this point, something like that. It's been a long time. This was probably my first fighting game, if I had to bet. You know, and I grew up with the X-Men cartoons and the movies not too long after this, and I loved those. Matter of fact, by the way, this game even has a thing on the cover saying that it has the movie costumes. So what it means by that is, if I'm playing as Wolverine, which I did throughout my entire gameplay this time around, I don't know how the other characters play because I didn't even bother to try them out, but when I tried them out as a kid, they played pretty cool. X-Men or Wolverine and Cyclops being the absolute best for me personally. They're also some of the best characters from X-Men. What it means by the whole movie costume thing, if I'm playing as Wolverine and the game pairs me up against another Wolverine, that secondary Wolverine is going to come out in the Hugh Jackman leather black costume from the live action movies, which I thought was kind of cool. You know, we had games that came out later on, like the PS2 game X-Men 2. Is it X2 Wolverine's Revenge? I love that game, bro. That Wolverine in this game looks just like the Wolverine from that PS2 game in a lot of ways. So that was pretty neat, from what I remember anyway. But anyway, getting back to the game itself, the third fight that it would pair you up with was a character that I always thought looked cool. I never really got to know more about him aside from what I saw in the cartoons. The very little of the X-Men cartoon I got to see growing up. And that is Gambit. Bro, you don't even know how difficult Gambit was for me as a kid. And even this time around, when I played against him, he was difficult. He plays some bullshit ass moves. He'll throw his little cards at you and stuff. He's kind of a defensive player until he until he hits you just the right way, and then he will absolutely decimate you as fast as he possibly can. You have to really be ready to fight Gambit in this game, because he bullshittingly cheats, is what I'm gonna say. But like, I love all the different locations you can fight in the game. There's a lot of cool ones, like you fight Storm on the 4th level in kind of like a storm sewer, I guess you could say. The thing with her and like Phoenix, right? Yeah, Phoenix is in the game. You can fight her too. They like float, and they are designed as women with really, really long legs. So they're going to kick you from really far away, whereas Wolverine is kind of short and stubby, and even a lot of the men characters are not as like lengthy leg-wise as those women are. So I feel like if you tried to punch with Phoenix, I feel like that's not going to help you. If you try to use some kind of mystic power, that's probably going to be your best way to go. But kicking is really the place that you're going to solve a lot of your problems if you play with one of them, Storm or Phoenix. But as Wolverine, One thing I don't think I ever knew as a kid that I found out this time is I just kind of, because it's kind of a button masher, if you will. But you have to be careful. Like I said, you play against Gambit, he's going to rock your world. Beast will try to fuck you up on the airspace area that you play on against him. If you hit the R1 trigger button, like, you can slash, like really slash as Wolverine. I don't know what everybody else does. Maybe Cyclops punches a couple of combos or something. I don't know. But I really love the combo feel of this game, too. By the way, you can have a little bit of different combos hitting different buttons. I know that sounds like duh, you know? But for you younger folk who don't know, or people who haven't played this game before and don't know, that was not common back in the day. You look at something like I even love to death, like the first Dragon Ball Z Budokai game for the PS2, one of the first really great PS2 Dragon Ball Z games ever, or one of the best Dragon Ball Z games to ever come out, in my opinion. You can't really do that all that much there. You could hit the square button a few times, maybe 4 times, and then hit circle, and I think if I remember correctly, that would shoot a Kamehameha wave, which was also yellow, not blue. It's kind of wild. But in the context of this game, back on the PS1, to my knowledge, when it came to these kind of fighting games, because I've never really played much of like Mortal Kombat or anything, or any of those other fighting games, except for Gundam and Rock'em Sock'em Robots back in the day, I don't remember having combos on them either. So this might have been one of the earliest ones I ever played that had that. So it was very unique to me. But yeah, that R1 slashing button for Wolverine, dude, you can do some damage with that. But yeah, you have to kind of play offensively more than defensively in this game, especially depending on the character you're fighting, like Gambit, who is utter bullshit. I cannot tell you how loud I screamed when I beat that dude up finally. It has been 22 years of trauma of not beating that son of a bitch. And I'm not kidding, my wife was laughing at me while I did this, because I was so... it was like overcoming a fear. You know what I mean? Like, you finally beat that guy that has been your bully since you were a child. But yeah, outside of that, I think graphically the game looks really good. I like the color schemes and stuff. It's a super short game, dude. You could probably beat this in total in like 40 minutes, 45 minutes, not even that. But it's cool. I mean, I got to play the game and I got to do a review for it. I had a really good time with this. This is way better gameplay-wise than I expected it to be in hindsight. I feel like the other ones I mentioned, like Gundam and Rock'em Sock'em Robots, which I want to play again at some point, I have them both still from my old days. I feel like those would not age as well as this did. You know what I mean? I feel like they wouldn't be able to be as wild and kind of age as well in gameplay. Maybe they look good, but with the actual gameplay, I feel like the controllers wouldn't feel as good as they did here. This was really competently made. It was really well done. Some people, apparently, from my little bit of research online, some people regard this as the best X-Men game ever made. And I haven't played a ton of X-Men games. Like, I haven't played X-Men Origins Wolverine for 360 and PS3. I literally just bought that game because I wanted to get it before the new one comes out for Wolverine's gaming. And the prices will skyrocket even higher on X-Men Origins Wolverine. But, yeah, I mean, I really wanted to just... I haven't tried stuff like that yet, but for me personally, the X-Men games I have played, which are very few, this is my favorite. It always will be, probably, because it's just awesome. And Wolverine, like I said, I always play as Wolverine if I get an option to. I think he plays so well here. So yeah, that's really all I have to say about this game. I really enjoy it. I highly recommend it if you haven't played it before. If you happen to be a button smasher fighting game fanatic, it's a really good one for folks out there who like this kind of style. And if you love X-Men, it's a really cool fighting game for that too. But just be ready for Gambit. So anyway, what do you think about X-Men Mutant Academy? Do you love it? Do you hate it? What's your favorite character to play as here? Thank you all for watching, guys. God bless you all. Let me know everything you think about this game and its sequel. I want to buy the sequel now if I can get my hands on it, because I feel like that would be cool too. Anyway, thank you guys. God bless you all. Catch you later, and goodbye.